In July 2021, despite an increasingly tumultuous situation at home and a global pandemic, Haiti sent representatives to its 17th Olympic Games. As these 6 athletes proudly represented their nation, as they stepped onto the racetracks, the judo, taekwondo, and boxing rings, and into the swimming pools of Tokyo, they could draw inspiration from their country's long history of athletic achievement. Haitians have won medals and broken records. The first black Olympian was even from the country. But despite this, Haiti's Olympic teams have not always been treated with respect. In the annals of Olympic history, few national teams have been more maligned than Haiti's at the 1976 Summer Games in Montreal. The squad, which consisted of 10 runners and 3 boxers, has become synonymous with the misguided aspirations of backward nations. This version appears in David Walachinsky's complete book of the Olympics. Walachinsky, who was a CNN commentator and later a founding member of the International Society of Olympic Historians, first published the book in 1984. It was reissued with each Summer Games until 2012. The following excerpt exists word for word in all 8 editions. He states that the 1976 Haitian runners consistently finished in last place. He briefly evokes pity for Haiti, using a cliché that was already tired in 1984. At first reflection, one might feel sympathy for the Haitians. After all, Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and malnutrition is widespread. He then concludes by painting a more sinister picture of the 76 Haitian team. However, he claims, there is no evidence that tryouts were actually held to determine the nation's best runners. Instead, Baby Doc Duvalier, the dictator of Haiti, simply chose his friends and other trusted soldiers and rewarded them with a free trip to Canada. Unfortunately, none of them were athletes. This is the narrative that endured. The notion of nepotism and non-athletes has entered the collective memory of Haiti at the 76 Games. It is a reputation that subsequent Haitian athletes have had to contend with. The tennis player Ronald Agenor, for example, has stated, "When I first started playing in tournaments, people automatically thought I wasn't a good player just because I was from Haiti." By 1989, he was ranked 22nd in the world in men's singles and won multiple international championships. Naomi Osaka is currently one of the best tennis players in the world, but she was overlooked by the US Tennis Association early on and chose to represent Japan. Osaka, whose father is Haitian, is outspoken about her connection to the country, though reporters often ignore her Haitian heritage.
You've lived in the United States for a long time, but you're very proudly Japanese, obviously. What will this victory mean for both sets of fans who will be watching this for you?
Of course, I'm really honored to be playing for Japan, and my dad's side is Haitian, so represent.
If the narrative of Haiti at the 1976 Olympics was harmful to later Haitian athletes, it is also unfair to the 1976 Olympians themselves. It is indisputable that the runners generally did poorly compared to runners from other countries.
And Haiti has to admit its runners are the worst in the Olympic Village.
But the narrative of nepotism and non-athletes is misleading. Walachinsky makes 4 claims about the 1976 Haitian Olympics team. He claims that 1. All of the runners came in last. 2. There were no tryouts held to determine the nation's best runners. 3. Jean-Claude Duvalier handpicked the athletes out of his friends and soldiers. And 4. None of them were athletes. I'm going to examine each of these claims, but first allow me to give you an overview of Haiti's Olympic history in 2 minutes. Haiti made its Olympic debut at the second Modern Games, Paris, 1900. 2 Haitians competed in fencing. Neither placed, but there was, however, a third Haitian at the 1900 Games, Constantin Henriquez, who played rugby under the French flag. As such, Henriquez was the first black athlete to compete in the Olympics. The French team placed first, which also makes Henriquez the first black gold medalist. Shortly after the Games, Henriquez returned to Haiti, where he introduced the country to soccer. No Haitians appeared at the Games until they returned to Paris in 1924. Here, Haiti won its first medal, bronze in the team free rifle competition. Haiti also sent 2 young soccer players to compete in track and field events, André Théard in sprinting and Silvio Cator in long jump and high jump. Neither earned a medal, but they both returned to the next 2 Olympics in Amsterdam and Los Angeles. At Amsterdam, Cator made Haitian sports history by earning silver in the long jump. Silvio Cator thus won Haiti's first silver and to this day its last Olympic medal. The gold medalist was Ed Ham from Arkansas, whose jump set a new record. 2 months later, Silvio Cator broke Ham's record, becoming the first Haitian world record holder. He immediately became a national hero. He returned to Port-au-Prince amid great celebration, and in 1952, the National Soccer Stadium was named in his honor. This was the stadium where the Haitian national soccer team qualified for the 1974 World Cup. Haiti sent a delegation but no athletes to the 1936 Olympics in Berlin. Curiously, this seems to have been the first time that anyone noticed Haiti's flag was identical to Liechtenstein's. So Liechtenstein added a crown. With the outbreak of the Second World War, there were no Olympics held until 1948, by which time Haiti was in economic decline. Between 1948 and 1972, Only a lone Haitian weightlifter participated in the Games, Rome 1960. Apart from the boycotted Moscow Olympics in 1980, Haitians have participated in every Summer Games since 1972. In 1976, despite the Olympic movement's stated aim of fostering international goodwill, the Haitian team was unfairly criticized, and their legacy has suffered because of it. Accounts of the 76 Games claim that all of the Haitian runners came in last.
9 times athletes from this Caribbean island have run. 9 times they have come last.
It is true that most came in last, and some even set the record for worst time, but it is technically not true that all came dead last. In the men's 100 and 200 meter, sprinter Philippe Etienne proved he was a contender. He ran the 100 meter in 11.05 seconds, which is by no means an unusual time for an Olympic runner. He came last in his heat, but was far from the slowest runner overall, achieving a better time than runners from Saudi Arabia, the Dutch Antilles, Fiji, West Germany, the US Virgin Islands, Kuwait, Iceland, Iran, and Nicaragua. Also, bizarrely, the time of one Haitian runner seems to have been misrecorded. Contemporary newspapers list Rose Gautier's time in the women's 400 meter as 54.27 seconds, but Olympic statistic websites all show her time as 1 minute 13 seconds. A minute 13 certainly supports the account of a notably slow group of runners, but if she did run the 400 meter in 54.25 seconds, as was reported at the time, that was a respectable result and a better time than Ileana Hawking from Puerto Rico, Helen Ritter from Liechtenstein, and Rochelle Campbell from my hometown of Guelph, Ontario. Sorry, Rochelle. In any case, it's not my intention to prove that the Haitian runners did well. Compared to most of their opponents, most of them did poorly. There's no getting around it. What I do dispute, however, is the standard explanation of the runners' poor times. After claiming all the runners came in last, Woloczynski suggested there were no tryouts in Haiti. This is false. I actually spoke to Marie-Antoinette Gautier, the 100-meter runner, and she remembers local qualifiers taking place throughout the country. It was not uncommon for athletics events to take place in Haiti in the 1970s. On the week of January 30th, 1976, an Olympics week was held in Port-au-Prince with competitions in athletics, volleyball, soccer, tennis, judo, boxing, basketball, and more. And Marie-Antoinette Gautier distinguished herself in the 100 meter. Given Philippe Etienne's respectable times in the 100 and 200 meter, it is highly unlikely that he was just chosen at random from among Duvalier's friends. This is Woloczynski's next point. It is often repeated that President Duvalier simply picked friends and loyal soldiers and placed them on the team. To be sure, it would be surprising if the president didn't have a hand in the nation's athletic activities. Jean-Claude Duvalier and his father François were textbook dictators. With the support of the United States, the Duvaliers ruled Haiti through surveillance, intimidation, and violence for almost 30 years. They had a hand in everything. There was a pervasive system of patronage, and the Duvaliers would give official posts to loyal supporters regardless of their qualifications. There is some indication that members of the Olympic squad were part of the elite counterinsurgency unit, the Corps des Léopards. One contemporary news article claimed that most of the male Olympians were Léopards, and that Duvalier had only told them to start training for the Olympics 4 months before the Games. The article, however, gets numerous details wrong, including some of the athletes' names, and even the name of the president himself. Still, it does appear that at least 3 of the 13 athletes were members of the Corps des Léopards. This is actually not too surprising. The Léopards were known and feared for their physical abilities, and they even held athletic demonstrations. Their training was overseen by US military advisors, so they probably were some of the best athletes in the country. But other members of the 76 squad were certainly not in the Corps. Marie-Antoinette Gautier was a medical student and an active soccer player. Dieudonné Lamotte worked odd jobs as a security guard and a clerk, and according to his friend the American novelist Herbert Gold, he was not affiliated with a military unit. The idea that none of the runners started training until 4 months before the Games is also dubious, because several of them had competed at the 1975 Pan American Games in Mexico, which took place 8 months before the Olympics. Woloczynski's final charge is that the Haitian Olympians were not athletes. This is simply not true. Here's how Marie-Antoinette Gautier responded to this spurious claim. As noted, many of the athletes were at the Pan Am Games 8 months earlier, where some of them achieved more impressive times. All 3 women on the team were prominent soccer players. Marie-Antoinette Gautier and her sister Rose Gautier played for the championship team, the Tigresses, and both represented Haiti on the national team as well. In 1976, Philippe Valbe, who played on Haiti's World Cup squad, was asked of his opinion of women's football. He pointed to the Gautier sisters as particularly impressive on the field. Marie-Antoinette represented Haiti at women's soccer tournaments in Martinique and continental France, and won the award for most goals scored. She went on to a career in medicine, but still remained active in the world of Haitian sports. In 1976, while in medical school, she became Haiti's first female soccer coach. In 1994, she was elected the first woman on the Haitian Olympics Committee and founded a working group on women in sport. She attended conferences on the subject around the world. She has perhaps done more for women's sport in Haiti than any other person, but outside the country, she is remembered as part of the losing squad at the '76 Olympics. At the Games, Dieudonné Lamotte made headlines for his poor showing in the 5,000 meters. He was lapped by other runners, and still holds the Olympic record for worst time in the event. The crowd cheered politely when he finally crossed the finish line, and he is remembered as one of the worst runners in Olympic history. But his subsequent running career tells a different story. He went on to participate in 3 additional Olympic Games. In 1980, he won the St. Kitts International Half Marathon. In 1985, he placed 3rd in a 10K in New York City. In 1986, he won bronze in the marathon at the Central American and Caribbean Games. In 1987, he won his first full marathon in Chicoutimi, Quebec, and a few weeks later he placed 6th at the Pan American Games in Indiana. In 1988, he placed 2nd in a half marathon in Williamsburg, Virginia. Months later, he won the Francophonie Marathon in Gagny, France, finishing in 2 hours and 14 minutes, his personal best in a very respectable time. He kept running into his 40s and even won the Long Island Marathon in 1996 when he was 41 years old. And yet he is remembered as not an athlete. The question remains, why then did the athletes do so poorly relative to their opponents? The author of a 1986 article about Dieudonné Lamotte took a sympathetic view. At a time when US and European magazines for runners proclaim the latest diet fads, Lamotte eats a staple of rice, beans, and a bit of fish and meat cooked over a coal pot. Despite hardships unimaginable to world-class athletes, including going without food some days so his wife and 5-year-old son could eat, Lamotte pressed ahead. In a 1976 interview, Gérald Haig, then head of athletics for the Haitian Olympics Committee, explained that while team sports like soccer, volleyball, and basketball were well developed in Haiti, individual sports were at a more nascent stage. He said that athletes need to begin training earlier and suggested organizing competitions in track and field between schools and universities. He also explained that there were still no proper training facilities in Haiti. There were practically no racetracks or facilities for the different types of jumps. The 10,000-meter runner Olmeyu Charles, when asked about his poor time, said, "My time? We don't have electronic clocking yet in Haiti. We just run." Marie-Antoinette Gautier noted their limited access to high-level coaches and training programs compared to runners from other countries. The Haitian athletes didn't have access to world-class trainers. They didn't have world-class facilities. They didn't have electronic timing equipment. They didn't have meticulously planned diets. They certainly couldn't be expected to compete with runners from, say, East Germany, with its centralized selection and training program, supplemented by the state-sponsored use of performance-enhancing drugs. Given all this, it is impressive that some of the Haitians did as well as they did. When a trusted expert like David Wolochinsky makes unfounded accusations about the Haitian Olympians, his version is repeated and becomes part of the collective knowledge about Haitian sports. This is how harmful historical narratives are produced. For that matter, when the trite 7-word phrase, "the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere," shows up in every article about Haiti, it becomes the only thing people know about the country. Haiti is so much more than that. Do yourself a favor and do Haiti a favor. Whenever you see this tired old phrase, instead read it as another 7-word phrase, the first country to permanently abolish slavery. This is the reputation that Haiti deserves. Many of us only hear about underdeveloped countries in the context of natural disasters or athletic events. So when commentators blithely pin the runners' poor times on their president's incompetence, the Haitian 1976 Olympic team becomes a satire on Haitian backwardness. The 1976 Haitian team is not a story about Jean-Claude Duvalier. It's a story about 13 athletes with 13 different experiences. The Haitian Olympians of 1976 deserve to be remembered for bravely facing off against the best in the world. They came to the world stage in spite of their bad government. Some even did better than we remember, and some went on to subsequent athletic achievement. This is the legacy that the athletes deserve. And this is the history that today's Haitian athletes can look to for inspiration. This has been another Sleeper Hit History with Matt Robertshaw. Thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and keep learning.